here we are again. I figured a solo podcast was in order, seeing as I haven't done one in a hot minute, and there's plenty to talk about. As you may already know, these are the ones I do where it's just me laying down on my couch at some ungodly hour of the morning, talking about some of either the topics that you guys have been in touch with me about, or, like tonight, talking about relevant things in my life at the moment. And there have certainly been some changes lately. I just recently left my normal full-time job for a full-time job of working for myself. Yes, indeed. Creative side hustle life. I'm not the first person to do this, and certainly not the last. People quit jobs every day. No biggie. But I'll share with you guys what my deal is, just for giggles. It's been a little over a week at this point, and I wanted to give myself some space mentally to explore it before documenting it, if you will. I wrote up a blog that'll be going up with this podcast to accompany it, so I hope you check that out too after we're all done here. Or maybe you just read the blog and now you want to hear me talk about it. If so, what's up? How's your day going? Anyway, so the first question everyone asks is, why? Why would you not wait to find another job first? Well, that was intentional because I had been looking at other jobs for a while and would occasionally toss my hat in the ring for one, but I wasn't even too stoked about those ones because the real thing I was looking for was time. Time to focus my energy on my own projects without having to show up somewhere at the same time every day, at least for a bit. You know, just a little freedom of existence where I could make my side projects that mean something to me my main projects. And over the last year or so, my mindset has just radically shifted in the sense that I've become more self-aware, more conscious of what in the world I'm spending my day doing, more attentive to my intuition, and tired of feeling like I had to just accept circumstances and hope they change rather than having the confidence, honestly, to take responsibility and make decisions to at least try and steer myself more in the direction that I'd like to go. I'm simply not the same person I was when I entered that job, plain and simple. And in the blog, I narrow it down to the idea I quit my job because it was dangerously safe, unfulfilling, and no longer made sense for who I am now. What once was satisfying now is not, And my situation is probably a little different than some people who have quit their jobs. I didn't hate my job. I had a lot of great coworkers who were good friends. My job wasn't hard. I could spend most of the day on autopilot if I wasn't careful. It wasn't challenging or high stress the vast majority of the time. It was comfortable in its own kind of way and very easy to stay in. But I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do long term, and it wasn't what I was meant to do anymore. Who knows what I am meant to do, but but that was not it. So once you're having those thoughts, what else is the option but to leave? Because otherwise you're just existing and wasting time. And if I know that it's not the plan, and I've already done this for years now, maxed it out for what it was, then what am I doing here? So basically, with what I'm looking to do as a creative person, being a side hustling freelancer, at least for a bit, was the only real option that kept coming back to me. Unless I find something else that makes sense, or I eventually need to grab some other job at some point. I'm not opposed to that if that becomes necessary, but something had to change. I couldn't keep doing what I was doing. And I took a clear look at alternative sources of income that I could manage on my own time. I made a list of things that I needed to do productivity-wise if I were to quit. That includes how much writing I need to do, how many podcasts I need to have happen a week, how many times I'm on Twitch. Should I expand into YouTube? Probably. How much time I spend on projects that are paid so that I can make sure to keep myself afloat. I spent time thinking of all the best things that could happen and purposefully imagining the absolute worst because I wanted to appreciate both ends of the spectrum. I had a full-time job with vacation time and whatnot, and that becomes comfortable in its own way, naturally. And those are great things, and I always appreciated them. But those things also became a sort of trap for me. trapped by the safety of those things, because the safety is amazing. I love safety, you guys. Personally, I really do. I love it. But in exchange for those things, my time is also tied up and keeps me from doing the things that do excite me, because the energy isn't as there as it should be. And everything in me wants to rebel against nonsense. And when I look at it honestly, I mean, I made enough to survive in an all right way, but I wasn't making bank. Like, I don't even have well, this job pays me a ton and my overhead is super high, so it's best to just stick it out and I have a family, etc. excuse. Okay? I didn't even have that. So then what am I doing here? Time and energy are what I need to consider my most precious resources, as do many of us, so that maybe they'll lead me into a more gratifying path and a day where I don't feel the need to leave work on my lunch every day, because the idea of being there the full 8.5 hours was suffocating me. And that is dramatic, you guys. That's a dramatic feeling, and I'm a measured person by nature. So I've learned that those kinds of strong impulses, where every cell of my body is trying to escape, warrants my attention. All right? I just really outgrew it. The negatives had officially outweighed the positives. And it hit me like a ton of bricks one day. Every other day was like getting Legos tossed at me. This day, for some reason, was like just a brick to my forehead region space. Okay? I walked out of work on that day. Not a day that I thought was going to be special or life-changing by any means, but it was certainly a very frustrating one that I had expected to be very normal. I walked out of work. My face was hot. My breathing was shallow. I was stressed out. And my inner monologue came through so clear to me. And it said, "You have to get out of there." It was so loud. I could swear it was out loud. For a second, I was worried that I'd said that out loud. And that people nearby were going to think I was a crazy person. You have to get out of there. Now, I'd been feeling that for a while, but something about the way it came through to me in that moment I just made it so impossible to brush aside. I was tired of being afraid of the change. I was tired of living in a Groundhog's Day. I was tired of feeling unappreciated, tired of letting this source of a consistent paycheck keep me stuck. Wanting a consistent paycheck is a legitimate thing. I definitely still want that. Yeah, no doubt about that. But at a certain point, you got to remember that those paychecks can be found in other ways. And I had to just step up and be my own catalyst. Remove the option of the safety zone and see what I do when it's not there. You know, let's play the game. But I had 4 days off after that moment, and I took those 4 days to live like I didn't have that steady job. I took on some side hustles. I looked at my budget, my savings, broke it down into how much money I really made a day. I looked at how much excess I have in my home that I don't need. I let it all really settle in, knowing deep down the whole while that there was really no going back this time. And the next day I had work. I gave my 2 weeks notice. Nervously, of course, because, you know, the lady likes her safety. I'm not kidding about that. I really do. But it had to be done. And I couldn't have been more happy after that for simply just making a decision for myself. So what happens when you tell your friends that you're quitting your full-time job to figure things out and live a more up and down financial lifestyle for a time? Some of them say they're scared for you. Some ask if you're scared or say that they're worried about you. And I'll tell you what, it's not what you're looking to hear. Okay? It's not what you're looking to hear. But I know it comes from a place of them caring about me, so it is all good. But you know what one of the most surprising things was? So many people that I talked to said that they were proud of me. Not just happy for me, and congratulations, good luck. But hey, I'm proud of you. And that choice of words really resonated with me in a surprising way in those moments, and it was super appreciated. I think that comes from the fact that this feels like a big step for whatever reason. For whatever reason, if it kind of has. And that everyone has probably felt like how I was feeling at some point in their lives. So I think when you see somebody else make a decision like that, it just kind of naturally makes you reflect on what you're doing too. And I know that that's how I feel when I see other people at least trying to do something better for themselves in any way, even if it's kind of a nerve-wracking one and it's a little out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, it is what it is. So what do my days post regular job look like right now? I look forward to easing into my day. I've never been a morning person. Nope, not never. Wish I was. I really do. But for some reason, my body is just not normal when it first wakes up. It needs time. So I've been waking up at my leisure, having a really nice cup of coffee. I get a workout in. I walk my dog and I walk other dogs, which has been fun. And then being creative. I picked up my guitar for the first time in years. I'm writing every day. I sit in a pile of self-doubt from time to time. Then I claw my way out of it by going on a jog or forcing myself to dance around my living room. No joke. I have to do things like that when I start to overthink. I'm recording podcasts and have taken on some work writing blog posts for others. It's like I've been building a cocoon for the last year, and now I'm finally trying to find my way out of it. I can't say I've come out as a new butterfly with my wings all spread and whatnot. Like, that's not what's happening. But I can tell that I'm in the process of stepping more confidently into myself. I'm sorry, that's a very lame example, but it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, so you'll have to forgive me on that one. Do I think this is going to be a perfect transition? No. What are you, crazy? No. Do I think I'll be fearless in every moment? Not even a little bit. I expect to be ragingly full of self-doubt every now and again. Not for leaving that particular job, just for simply not having something that's full-time, because I'm used to having something that's full-time. You know, you get accustomed to that. So it's just a kind of a very different lifestyle to step into, and I think that's where the uncertainty comes into play, just because you have put yourself in a place of figure it out. And I also expect that that's too damn bad, because I got to get through that and keep looking forward and somehow control my mind enough to find some self-belief even when I'm full of doubt. Because not for 1 second have I been interested in looking back. Not for 1 second. Which is a very cool thing, you know? If anything, the regret becomes, I wish I'd done it a little bit sooner, because why not? If you're just going to go and figure stuff out, do it sooner rather than later. Why not? You know, and the bottom line is that like, I'm going to be all right. I know that on some level, on all levels, really, if I pay attention. And I'll grow and I'll get stronger and all that good stuff, no matter what's next. Could be awesome things. There'll be some awesome things in there. There'll be some weird things in there. And there's value in that. And the sun will rise tomorrow and time will tick and things will happen, you know? And I always say that my biggest fear is regret. And regret only happens when I'm not trying or when I'm actively kind of resisting my own intuition, because I know what I should do, but I'm not doing it, right? We all do that sometimes. It's like we're all out here living our stories, and it's good to let them evolve and just roll with them punches, as it were. And I hope that if you're out there wanting to do something different, that you open your mind up to, you know, making any changes necessary to allow yourself to do so. Because it's all right. It's all right to change. It's all right to change things. So that's about it, you know. There's my story, and we'll see how this goes. I'm excited. It should be fun. If you want to read the accompanying blog post that goes with this rambling recording, you can find it on my site, CourtneyDiamond.com. If you'd like to work with me, read my stuff, or just want to get in touch, all of that info is readily available right over there as well. I'm also on Twitch playing video games several nights a week, so find me over there and say hi next time I'm live at twitch.tv/Courtney Diamond. Guess what? All the socials are also at Courtney Diamond, because I'm easy to find in an internet way. It's true. So with that, there'll be a podcast up soon in the next couple of days with a brand new guest. And maybe hit subscribe if you guys are feeling generous. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.